Hello friends, this video on hydrocarbons part 6 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Let's study the preparation of alkane from alkyl halides. We have three methods to prepare alkane from alkyl halides. The first is you can do a reduction of the halides. The second, you can use the Booth reaction. The third is you can use the Grignard reagent. Let's start with the first one where we do the reduction of the halides. See, all the alkyl halides except fluorides, when you reduce them with zinc and HCl, it gives alkane. Why? Because this guy is a good reducing agent. Zinc plus HCl will give you nascent hydrogen. I'll tell you how it gives. Zinc plus HCl gives nascent hydrogen, which is a good reducing agent. I'll take you through the reaction for this. And instead of zinc and alkane, you can also use LiAlH4 and NaBH4. They can also be used as reducing agent. This is the reaction we have. Here CH3Cl. Oxidation number of carbon is -2 here. And oxidation number of carbon here is -4. Correct? Because this guy, if you see, if you assume that carbon as X plus 4 into hydrogen, this is 4 into 1. 1 into chlorine, that is -1. This has to be 0. So if you see, the value of X is -2. Here carbon is X, 4 into hydrogen is 4 into 1 is equal to 0. So oxidation number carbon here is -4. So from -2 to -4, that means it got reduced, right? -4 to -2 got reduced. More reaction if you want. This is the reaction if you have this guy C2H5Cl ethyl chloride. When you react with hydrogen, so this will replace this chlorine and you will get ethane. Similarly, this is one example where you have propyl chloride, you add hydrogen and then it becomes propane. So if you see the reaction of zinc and HCl, this is like this. You have zinc and you have HCl. They react, it gives ZnCl2 and nascent hydrogen. So this is the balanced reaction. This is a nascent hydrogen, and this guy is a very strong reducing agent. Correct? And that's how this reaction happens. The next reaction is the Booth reaction. So here, alkyl halides, similarly, when you're still using the alkyl halides only, when you treat with sodium salts in dry ether, which has to be free from moisture, it gives higher alkanes. And this reaction is called Booth reaction. And as I told, it has to be performed under anhydrous condition, because even if there is a small amount of water, right? So the alkyl free radical which is formed in this reaction, right, during the reaction, the intermediate, is strongly basic and can react with proton from the water. So if you see, this is a reaction. I have my Rx here. This is my metal. It can be a sodium metal. When you react sodium with this metal, what happened is you get a free radical of R and this Mx. This sodium will take this chlorine or whatever halogen it had, and you get the free radical R. And this guy is very reactive actually. So even if you have water here, a small amount of water, this will react with hydrogen from the water. Correct? So it has to happen in the anhydrous state. And then if you see, this is again my free radical will react with sodium to form this compound. Actually, what I am doing is I am making this to this R minus N plus X. Correct? I am giving it more ionic character, and when this reacts with Rx, you get RR. So this is my reaction mechanism. This is my reaction mechanism. What happens, and thus it is preferred that this has to be anhydrous condition, because if it has some water, this guy is very reactive and will react with proton from the water. And please note, it is used to prepare higher alkanes with even number of carbon atoms only. Why? Because if you see, this is Rx, right? So even it has, let's suppose, 3 carbon atoms. When it combines, it becomes RR. So it will have 3 into 2. So even if it has n carbon atom, it will become n into 2. So n into 2 is what? Always an even number. Correct? So it is always preferred for even number of carbon atoms. I'll take you through one example where this point will be cleared. Even if you take, let's suppose, see this guy, methyl bromide, and let's suppose you take ethyl bromide together, and then you do the reaction. So that in that case you will be able to form compounds which has odd numbers, but you will not be able to separate it, right? Because they have similar physical and chemical property. I'll take this little example. Understand this called Busch reaction, where you use sodium, right? And then you use a dry ether to make sure everything is dry, and then this sodium will form this free radical. It will ionize actually this radical, what do you call, alkyl, and then this alkane will be formed. The question is, find the product when ethyl iodide and methyl iodide undergoes Busch reaction. So if you see here, I have ethyl iodide C2H5I, methyl iodide CH3I, right? It undergoes this reaction with sodium, with dry ether, right? So what you get is, one product you can have is this reacts with this, right? Ethyl reacts with methyl, then you get C2H5 and this is CH3. That is one option. The second option can be ethyl react with another ethyl radical, that is you get C2H5, again C2H5. Other is this methyl radical reacts with methyl radical itself, correct? Three possible scenarios, correct? Because intermediate, if you see this guy, when it reacts with sodium, you will get C2H5. Free radical will get, correct? Because C2H5I, when it react with sodium, it will give C2H5 free radical and NaI, correct? Similarly, CH3I, when you react with sodium, it will get CH3 free radical plus NaI. So now if you see, we have two free radicals. Now they can combine among themselves. It becomes C2H5, C2H5, CH3I, CH3I, or they both can react. So you'll get three products. Now separating these products is very difficult because they have similar physical and chemical properties, similar boiling points. So we generally don't use or don't recommend this Busch reaction for this kind of thing, because if you see here, it has 3 carbon atoms, it has 4 and it has 2. So if you see, this has odd number of carbon atoms. Such kind of scenario we generally avoid. So we generally take only a single compound here. So if you take ethyl iodide, it's a what do you call, good to take only ethyl iodide. So in that case, you will get only this guy. If you want to take methyl iodide, take only this, then you get only this compound. Correct. Why is Busch reaction not preferred for preparation of alkanes containing odd number of carbon atoms? This is the same thing, the same questions, but in that question earlier, you were given that you have to react ethyl iodide and methyl iodide. Here that is not given, right? So you have to think more. You have to think of a scenario where you can have a reaction between 2 carbon and 1 carbon halides. For example, in this case, you will have the same thing. You can see that C2H5 and CH3I, that is methyl iodide, ethyl iodide, reacts with sodium in presence of dry ether. You get these kind of products. Correct? So this is what you have to say, and then you have to say that these product is very difficult to separate, and so we don't use Busch reaction to form odd number of carbon compounds. So generally we use only this guy, let's suppose. So in this case, you will get only one product. Correct? Or we use this guy, so you will get this. So this is easy. So let's understand now the preparation of alkanes from alkyl halides using Grignard reagent. So what is Grignard reagent? It is nothing but RMGX format. We will discuss this. So if you see this, my alkyl halides, when we react with magnesium metal in diethyl ether, it forms alkyl magnesium halogen, and this is nothing but my Grignard reagent. And here if you see my carbon, there will become carbon here, carbon and Mg, this bond is very weak. RMG bond is very weak. It's actually very polar actually. It's very highly polar, can be broken easily. So if you see this, why it is broken easily? So if you see the electronegativity of carbon is 2.55 and for magnesium it is 1.31. So if you see, there is a huge difference in electronegativity, right? And that's why it's polar. So this guy will get negative charge, carbon will get negative charge, and this guy will get positive charge. Correct? So if you see this is my reaction. I have my alkyl halide, right? This is my ethyl bromide. When it reacts with magnesium in presence of dry ether, what you get is this guy, CH3CH2 MgBr. Correct? This is nothing but ethyl magnesium bromide. Now, in this case, if you see, this bond is very weak. Why? As I told, carbon will be slightly negative and this guy will be slightly positive because of the difference in electronegativity. Correct? So when this whole thing reacts with water, actually now, this bond will break and you'll get CH3, CH3. So let me show you the reaction actually. So I have CH3, then I have CH2, then I have Mg, and then I have Br. Correct? Now water, so let's assume I have H plus and OH minus ion now. Correct? Let's assume that to make things a little simple. Since this guy is slightly positive, negative, and this guy is slightly positive, this H will attack here, right? And with this bond will break, and this OH minus will attack here. So what you get here is output of this will be, this is CH3 intact, this is this second carbon, and here you will have this hydrogen here, plus with this Mg magnesium, you will get OH here. Then yeah, this is what you get. Same thing. Correct? Since this bond is polar, H plus will attack this guy, this carbon, and since this will attack this carbon, since this was slightly negative, this is slightly positive, this bond will break, and this bond will break, and this will result in a negative charge here, a positive charge here, right? This negative and positive will form a bond, and this positive and this OH minus negative will form a bond. Correct? So this is example of electrophilic addition reaction. So this is a chart where you say you have RMGX, you react with water, you get this, you react with this. This chart which says that this is a very critical reagent actually. When you react this guy with water, you get something. If you react with ketone, you get something. If you react with aldehyde, you get something. So this is the whole chart.
Thank you. Visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thanks once again.